On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up?
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Right.
Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
And that'll do it. It's over. The Golden State Warriors return to a familiar place. They're on top of the NBA world.
We're down to 2, now to 1. Here's Jordan. Yes! It is all over the Chicago Bulls.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Oh, yeah!
I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas because I certainly did. Well, time to get back to work. Good morning. Welcome to the post-Christmas Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Lots to get to over the next 120 minutes, including 8 in a row for the 49ers. Tua looks pedestrian, and I've said that all along. Let's see. What else do we get to? Oh, yeah. The Chargers have a chance to, dare I say it, clinch a playoff berth. Can you believe that? Brendan Staley has a chance to coach the Chargers into the playoffs, and the playmakers in the chat with me. I had planned to take today off. What I might do is take the next 2 days off. Because maybe 3, because have a tournament scheduled to cover on Thursday. But we'll have to see how all that goes. Nathaniel Hackett needs to be fired. Carlos Correa will not have a team next year. And just so much to do. But this is a post-football, post-week 16 Monday. And we're going to start this in Santa Clara, where the 49ers made it 8 in a row by defeating the Redskins, Commanders, 37-20. Let's go over the numbers. Brock Purdy, 15 of 22, 234 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns plus a pick. Ray McLeod rushed for 71 yards. Matter of fact, let me just look at the team stats right here. 371 total yards for Frisco. 153, I should say, came on the ground. This team loves to beat you up, run it down your throat, and then just when you thought you've had enough, beat you up some more. Oh, yeah, there's another thing I have from this. Is the defense of the year. In many people's opinion, unfortunately, they won't be in the eyes of the right opinion. Why? Some dude named Micah Parsons, who is a stud, don't get it twisted. But I think Nick Bosa's had a more powerful impact on the way he disrupts the game. He had 2 more sacks on Saturday. And he's sitting at 17.5 now? Yeah, 17.5 now. Sitting at 17.5 sacks. And I know Dietz is going to make an argument that, Parsons has had more tackles, which he has, but both more sacks. Matter of fact, I'll even go as far as to make the argument that not only should Nick Bosa be the defensive player of the year, he should also be the most valuable player. Here's why I'm saying that. Almost everybody is saying Jalen Hurts is the MVP, and with a few good reasons. You take Jalen Hurts out of the equation, what are you left with? Gardner Minshew? Well, he still rang up 34 points, granted in a losing effort against the Cowboys, and I wish they hadn't lost. I mean, It just shows Philadelphia's value as a team. Hurts or no hurts. Oh, there I am. If Nick Bosa is out of the lineup, that defense suffers. I'm sorry about that. If Nick Bosa is out of the lineup, that defense suffers. He is the unquestioned leader of that defense. But although you have studs like Fred Warner, you have studs like Dre Greenlaw, that defense leans on Nick Bosa. All right. Now, I saw a meme this morning that said Jalen Hurts has to play at an MVP level and people still hate him. Matter of fact, let me find that right now because I want to get it correct. But you take a team that loves making second half adjustments like the 49ers. They made their second half adjustments because it was tied at 7 at halftime. Tied at 7. And then the wheels fell off for Washington. Now, what does this do to the Redskins' chances? It hits them right in the heart. They're sitting at the 7th seed right now. We'll go over the NFC and AFC playoff picture in the next segment. But I'm sorry, when you face a red hot team like the 49ers and you don't make adjustments, you're going to lose. Brock Purdy made his adjustments after he threw that first half interception, which led to the tying score for Washington. McCaffrey, 15 carries, 46 yards, plus a touchdown. Ray McLeod, one rush for 71 yards, and that 71-yard touchdown opened the scoring. But look at this 49er team. They have the most wins in the NFL, which the number is now 9, by 10 points or more. They won by 17 on Saturday. And it looked like an absolute trap game for them, the way Washington came out defensively. They stopped the 49ers on a 4th and goal, turned the ball over on downs, but then the 49ers stopped the Redskins on a 4th and goal. They got the ball back, took it 99 yards, and cashed in. The team as a whole is the most dangerous team in the NFC. Nothing against Philadelphia, nothing against Minnesota. I believe the Vikings are frauds. I believe the Cowboys are bigger frauds. I believe it'll be Philadelphia and San Francisco for the NFC Championship, and do not be surprised if the 49ers wind up winning the darn thing. Well, you're not going to lose either way. Should have come down to Philadelphia and Frisco for the NFC title. You want to know how sloppy it got, Sick? Carson Wentz made an appearance. How's that? This is how bad it got. Carson Wentz made an appearance in yesterday's game. Yeah, him, Carson Wentz, who was on his way to MVP status in Philadelphia before he got hurt and hasn't been the same since. He certainly wasn't the guy in Indianapolis. He certainly was not. And Matt Ryan's not the guy either in Indy. But I'll talk more about that later. This San Francisco team is going to mess around and get to Phoenix, Arizona, and win the darn thing. Is there a lot of work left to be done? Better believe there is. Better believe there is. There's a hell of a lot of work to be done. And I realize that. I know that. I know and realize, me being a fan and a 49er insider, excuse my voice, that there's a lot of work to be done. A lot. I mean, the regular season's not even over yet. Regular season's not even over yet. I know that. But the way the way this team is rolling right now, I said after Kansas City came into Levi Stadium and beat our asses, that's going to wake up the 49ers and they're going to wind up running the table. And they're 2 games away from doing so, regular season-wise. Playoff-wise, different animal. It's been said in football circles that when a new quarterback takes over, they'll have 4 games of film on him. Well, guys, you got your 4 games. See what you can do. I don't think, and much love to Cool McCain and all the other Eagles fans I know. I mean, they're my second adopted NFC team. Fly, Eagles, fly. I'll say it all day. But if there is a more dangerous team than the Philadelphia Eagles, it is indeed the San Francisco 49ers. And the way they're rolling right now, this is a snowball running down the hill, coming right at you. What have I always said about the 49ers? They are physical. They want to beat you up. They want to take your soul. And just when you think you have nothing left, they'll take it. This is a team that is on a mission, and you can throw all the memes at me that you want about 28-3 and Super Bowl 54 that you want. You know the greatest thing about this 49er team, which has especially been true since 2019, they keep coming at you. 2020, we were back in the bunker because of injuries. 2021, we're 2 minutes away from returning to the Super Bowl, and then the Rams turned up their defense. Kudos to them. But now you look at this 49er team, and dare I say, it's in a better position than it was in 2019. Period. The question is, who's going to stop them? Give me your thoughts in the chat. And for those of you watching us via YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. And if you can, throughout the course of the week and throughout the course of the day, of course, the show, hit the Cash App for both hosts. We would really appreciate it. Got more. We'll discuss Monday Night Football in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Talk Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
For Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez,
And it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Official SIT Morning is the ID that you need. Official SIT Morning is the official ID of the show. We'll talk Monday Night Football in just a moment. Let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Sick Diggy joining us from Norway. Good morning and Merry Christmas, folks. Same to you. Playmaker said, thought you was taking Monday off. Thought about it, but didn't. Happy Monday, folks. Happy Monday to you. Playmaker said, my Christmas was working. We'll be having hot chocolate instead of coffee later on. Heated chocolate. Let's not get Dr. K heated about her beloved Colts. Man, listen. She knows this. She knows how this season is going. And I don't need to be nice about it. What kind of gave me a clue? Let's talk Colts. Let's talk Colts. What kind of gave me a clue about how this season is how this season is going for the Colts is a Thursday night game in Denver. Now, since she and I have been together, we have always watched the Colts games all the way through. Matter of fact, she says to me all the time, even when it appears that the game is over, she said, nope, you got to watch it to the end. I said, all right, I can deal with that. Then this season happened. Then the game in Denver happened. You know it's bad when a Colts fan, and she's long been a football / Colts fan, looks me dead in the eye at halftime of that game against Denver and says, honey, you know what? I'm not going to make it through the second half. This game is boring. This game is stupid. And I'm going to bed. And she went to bed. That is how bad it is. That is how this season has gone for the Indianapolis Colts. But they have a chance tonight to, more to the point, disrupt a season that could end in a playoff berth. Let me say that again. A playoff berth. I can't believe I'm saying this with a Brendan Staley-led team, but it needs to be stated. The San Diego Chargers, and I know they're the Los Angeles Chargers, but screw it. The San Diego Chargers have a chance to clinch a playoff berth. Can you believe that? Even with the ways that they lost games they weren't supposed to lose. The win against Miami has put them into a position I never thought I'd see. And that position is the postseason. Remember what happened last year? Remember what happened last year? When they had a chance to simply tie the Las Vegas Raiders, all they had to do was run out the clock, and that's that. Run out the clock, and you're good. But no, they did not run out the clock. What did they do instead? They gambled. They gambled on a fourth down, didn't make it, turned the ball over, and Vegas walked off into the playoffs and at the same time secured a spot in the postseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You want to tell me how the hell that's possible? And I'm still shaking my head to this day about that. I'm still shaking my head to this day about that. And now there's a chance old Snowman will eat crow this week. Because a win tonight for the Chargers and I can't believe I'm going to utter this sentence. A win tonight for the Chargers and they're in. They're in. I can't believe I'm saying that aloud. How the hell did we get to this point where all the Chargers have to do is win? And you know what? This is a classic trap game for San Diego. This is a classic trap game. Classic. Because you have everything in front of you. If you're Los Angeles, You have everything. You've everything in front of you. How many times do I have to say that? You have everything in front of you. Everything. You have everything in front of you. All you have to do is play a solid 60-minute football game against a team whose season you can put out to pasture once and for all. Against a team who you can put out to pasture once and for all. Once and for all. You can put the Colts out of their misery. Because Lord only knows what the hell the Colts are going to do at quarterback. I mean, Carson Wentz wasn't the answer. Phillip Rivers was barely the answer for a year. And then you got the curious case of Matt Ryan. And I mean curious. I mean the various curious case of Matt Ryan. And then you got Nick Foles starting tonight. Nick Foles will start tonight for the Indianapolis Colts. Not Sam Ehlinger, not Matt Ryan. It's Nick Foles, who played himself into a huge contract and broke his clavicle and hasn't been the same since. The Chargers are 8-6 coming into tonight. Indianapolis 4-9-1. And that tie against, of all teams, the Houston Texans, cost them the season. Because they roar back from 20-0 down, tie the game at 20, had 3 shots to win the thing. 3! And couldn't get it done. So now when the Chargers roll into Lucas Oil Stadium tonight, it's going to go one of two ways. This 19th ranked offense for the Chargers could light the scoreboard up, or this third ranked defense for the Indianapolis Colts could pitch a shutout. There are too many wild cards in this game. Too damn many. There are too many wild cards in this game. And you're looking at a team in San Diego that is 31st in rushing and 7th in passing. Let me say that again. 31st in rushing, 7th in passing. The Colts are 26th in rushing and 24th in passing. What the hell kind of offense was this? I mean, the Colts spent money on their offensive line. And they have not produced the way we thought they would produce. I thought this was the meanest offensive line in the NFL. I even said as such during my season previews. I said as such that this was the meanest offensive line. This line was a bunch of bullies. And salute to Hawk TV for coming in. I thought this was the meanest offensive line you could run into. And yet, they've been as soft as my grandchildren's pillows. Period. There have been too many moments during the Colts season where they have been soft as all get out, even during their 4 wins. And then Jonathan Taylor's out. He's on injury reserve for the rest of the year, so his season's effectively over. Damn. Damn. I'm sorry. That's all I could think of. Damn. Just plain damn. This is a trap game for the Chargers. And wouldn't it be fitting? Would it not be fitting that the Chargers lay a big fat ass egg on Monday Night Football with a chance to clinch a playoff spot and not have their own fate in their own hands yet again? It would just be so damn fitting. It would just be fitting. I don't know how the hell they're going to pull this one off. I don't. This is one where you have to take a deep breath. This is one where you have to just take a deep breath and let everything play out. It's about all you can do. It's about all you can do. Take a break, and we got more football stuff. And later on, I'll do my Rose Bowl preview. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks. Poppy J.
If it wasn't consensual, you gotta protect the parties. You gotta be cautious. But this is two consensual adults. There's nothing to protect.
Wise El Jefe.
Could that be? Could it be that? Could it be that he's not getting the box all the time? He's not getting that slobber knocker.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 10 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and give him buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Let's Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
For Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Yordan Alvarez.
And it's caught! Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense it.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We roll on this Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. And Wise is in with us. He says, good morning. Good morning to you. And good morning to everyone in the chat. What was the most surprising game to you this past weekend in the NFL? What was the most surprising game? To me, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Actually, you know what? I can call a halt to that because let me find it. And the reason I can call a halt to that, and I can move my preview to hour 2, because I think someone is going to be put on the hot seat, and I can't find what the hell I need to find. This is my fault for getting out of bed this morning. Actually, I found what I needed to find, and we got to go sit. Ryan McCoffey in the house. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I had to unmute myself. Good morning. Good morning. Merry Christmas, Snowman.
Merry Christmas to you. Good. What's the brew this morning?
The brew is Bad Santa from Invader Coffee. So
I love it.
It's a great coffee.
Bad Santa. What a name.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk. What the hell happened Thursday night? Because I said something Friday that had a few people looking at me weird. And what I said was, there was no life in MetLife Stadium Thursday night.
It was Met Dead Stadium.
It was Met Dead Stadium. Exactly. There was no noise, even though there were a lot of people there. It's like they came in and expected to lose. The fans and the players. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And somehow their playoff chances are still on life support. They got to depend that, unfortunately, instead of trying to win out or trying to win, they're depending on other teams to get them into the playoffs. And it's like, no, you can't do that in this NFL. You can't do this in today's NFL.
You can't.
We have 2 games left, and
they're 7-8.
I don't know who's going to be starting on Sunday when they play the Seattle Seahawks, which I've dubbed the no credentials required derby, because my team, the New York Jets, is playing my co-host Dustin's Seattle Seahawks. He's a Seahawks fan, so
oh boy,
we've dubbed it the no credentials required derby.
Oh boy.
So we've got a little side wager going for the podcast, so that'll be fun though. No, but they have to win on Sunday to keep their chances alive.
Is this in the Pacific Northwest, or is it?
This is in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh dear.
Well, the positive side. Hold on.
Okay.
The only positive I could see is if Geno Smith turns the ball over like he used to do with the Jets. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback, but he still has tendencies he had when he was in New York.
He said the only
Yeah.
And I know you're not lying about that, but
no.
Damn.
No.
Damn.
It's also going to depend on who starts at quarterback. Is it going to be Mike White, or is it going to be Chris Streveler? Because sure as heck it's not going to be Zach. I almost said Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson.
Don't say Sam Darnold. Please.
No,
don't
he's
say
actually
Sam Darnold.
he's actually pretty good. Have had a pretty good time in Carolina.
How? Tell me
Because
how the hell did I miss something? I'm gonna have Jay Spivey on later. Did I miss something? Because all Sam Darnold did was turn and hand the ball off 50 times.
Yeah.
Well, not 50 times, but you get the
No,
idea.
but he has something in Carolina that he didn't have in New York. That was a competent run. It's a competent run game. It's a run game that can support his deficiencies. And once the running game gets established, he can go out and make some pretty amazing throws. He did that on Saturday against the Lions and raced out to a 31-3 lead.
Yeah.
Went up hanging on for the win. So he's a decent quarterback if you give him time to throw and if you have a running game that can set up the pass. That's what this Jets team should be doing with Zach Wilson. I wrote an article an article on Friday on Belly Up Sports. I said this can't all be on Zach Wilson, even though they can't move the ball with him. They move the ball with Strebler, they move the ball with Mike White, they move the ball with Joe Flacco. They can't seem to move the ball with Zach Wilson.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they can't move the ball with Zach Wilson?
They could when Breece Hall was in the lineup. I think that was a huge loss
yeah. And you said it too.
That was a huge loss.
This was
huge loss.
This derailed their season.
Yeah, it did because they were 5-2 at that point.
They were 6-3.
They were 6-3 going into the bye week. Then they had that heartbreaker of a loss that they should have beaten New England.
They should have killed New England.
They should have beat up New England.
They should have killed New England. All right, they should have obliterated New England. But they didn't. Big problem with that.
I see
big problem. And that game basically has derailed for me, that game has basically derailed the Jets season.
Because other teams have figured out the formula. If they take away the run game from Zach Wilson is not reliable. He sails passes over his receivers' heads, which leads to turnovers, which leads to interceptions.
Yeah.
They had that one win against Chicago, but that was when Mike White was in the lineup. And also Mike White gave them their best chance to win, but they also couldn't protect him, and now he has broken ribs. And who knows if he's going to be playing on Sunday. They've got another 5 days to decide. Hopefully his ribs will be healed up to the point where you can just wear a flak jacket, which I know limits some quarterbacks' abilities to throw.
Yeah.
But this team moves the ball better when Mike White is at quarterback. They love Mike White. They play for him. They absolutely play their guts out for him.
They love Mike White.
But for some reason,
isn't Mike White the starter?
Because he's injured.
I had an argument with this. I had an argument with somebody about this. They rally for Mike White. They rally for Joe Flacco.
Yep.
Like you said, they especially rally for Mike White. So why isn't Mike White the starter?
Because I think Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are trying to justify taking Zach Wilson second overall. Because if I remember correctly, from the 2021 draft, the reason why the 49ers traded up from, I think, was it 5 to 3?
Yes.
They wanted Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And they went on picking Trey Lance instead because Zach Wilson was taken by the Jets. Because somebody got fooled. Some scout somewhere on that team got fooled. They got played.
Somebody got seriously played.
Whether it was by his agent or his mother, who, calm down, Mom. I understand you're being a mama bear for your cub, but your boy's got to grow up, and he's failed to do that in this league. I don't think he wants to be a quarterback in this league. You'll see him in Canada, or you'll see him in one of the arena leagues within the next 2 seasons.
Thank you. See him in one of the arena leagues. You'll see him in Canada, but you will not see him in the NFL. I mean, he's
No.
not a starting quarterback. He's
No.
not.
And the only way the Jets can really move on from him is if they cut him, it's a $20 million cap hit.
Yeah.
If they trade him, it's only $11.5 million. But who's going to want him?
I wouldn't take on that contract.
I wouldn't take on the contract either if I was another
I wouldn't
NFL
take on. I
GM.
wouldn't take on that thing. Who the hell would want to? Who the hell would want to take on that?
Who wants to try to make him grow up? That's the problem. Is that he has to grow up. If you're doing all if you're not taking accountability for a heartbreaking loss, and again, going back to the New England game when Connor Hughes asked him, do you feel any responsibility for letting out your defense? And I'll say this quote, no, unquote. That was when everything started to go downhill for that kid.
That alone, that one statement right there.
Mm-hmm. And he even bought scooters for his offensive line. I'm like, why do you buy your offensive line scooters? Is it to signify that you're scooting your way out of town after this season? I mean,
yep.
What's going on? I mean, I'm sure he's a nice kid,
and that's scary right there when you're buying your offensive line scooters and
rather than
don't even use your offensive line.
Yeah, rather than a Rolex, rather than Rolexes or nice jewelry or something, another memento. But you're buying them scooters. It's
scooters of all things, scooters.
Weird. Which scooters?
Who the hell? Well, we already got the answer now.
No, we got the answer to that. Yeah,
we got the answer to that. So what do the Jets have to do to pull off a win in, of all places, Seattle?
Well,
how the hell do they pull this off?
Your front four has to play amazingly. You have to make the Seahawks turn the ball over.
That's the only way you stay in a game with Seattle. In the second half of the season, teams have figured it out.
Yep.
Because you can't do anything else. You can't do anything else if you don't force them to turn the ball over. And this is where I toot my horn a little bit. Just ask San Francisco.
Yeah. And actually against the Jaguars, they had the turnover. They made the Jaguars turn the ball over on their first drive.
They did.
They had Quinnen Williams having a great season, made a strip sack of Trevor Lawrence. They recover the ball, but they can't turn it into points.
Nope.
And that was the only points.
And that's been the problem the second half of the year for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and those are the only points they had all game. They spotted the Jaguars 3 points and they said, "Okay, here's the game. We give up."
And I'll say it again. It was definitely quiet at MetLife Stadium.
It was Met-Dead Stadium.
Met-Dead Stadium.
Or Jet-Dead Stadium, really.
Jet-Dead.
But again, Snowman,
so all those weeks where we had you on and there was so much excitement.
Oh my God.
For the New York Jets. And I felt it. Don't get it twisted. Right down the tube.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All that optimism, all that
hope,
snuffed out. So the Jets need a miracle to get to the playoffs at this point. They need to win out, and they need the Dolphins to lose. They need to beat the Dolphins in the last game of the season. They need the Chargers to lose out. They need a miracle.
Chargers are not losing tonight.
No, they need a miracle.
Yeah,
Nick Foles needs to ball out.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I don't see that.
Good luck. Listen, and you see the shirt I'm wearing. You know that we support here in the house.
Yeah,
when my wife looks at me,
your ladies' team's the Colts. I get it.
When my wife looks at me and says, "I'm going to bed," at halftime of a Colts game, and has not watched the full game with me since, except for the Redskins game. Game, set, match.
Mm-hmm.
Game, set, match.
Yep.
I posed a question in the chat, and I'll pose it to you. What was the most surprising game you saw this weekend? It had to be Houston beating Tennessee. Well, that's what the popular vote. That's what the popular vote is in the chat right now.
Yeah, I think Texans beating the Titans was definitely the biggest upset of the weekend for sure, for sure. Because
the Titans are going to mess around and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned
they're going to mess around and miss the playoffs. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that we all buried at the top of the year. I know I'm guilty.
Yep, me too.
Burying the Jaguars.
Me too.
I am guilty. I'll hand out receipts. My buddy Joshua Jackson, who's a big time Jaguar fan, I'm inviting him on the show to celebrate when they, dare I say it, clinch the South Division. Because they have all the tiebreakers.
After seeing that a big win in Nashville, I said the Jaguars are going to win out and they're going to win that division.
They're going to win out. They're going to win out.
And they play the Texans on New Year's. They're at Houston on New Year's Day,
and they're going to obliterate them.
They're going to absolutely smoke them. And then they host the Titans. They host the Titans.
Destroy the Houston. They're going to destroy the Houston Texans.
And I'm really hoping that Texans Jaguars is the night game on Sunday night and the last game of the year, regular season game of the year.
So we can see Jaguar hang 45 points on them.
Yep.
Obliterate them. Be done with it. Trevor Lawrence balls out, gets 300 yards in 3 quarters. Okay. The running game gets 200 yards in 3 quarters. And they just cruise.
Yep.
They just cruise.
Yep.
Because there's no way. I can't believe I'm going to say this aloud. There's no way I cannot see the Jaguars not winning out.
No.
I can't see it.
I don't. I can't see a scenario where the Jaguars don't win out.
I can't see it.
I don't see it. I don't see it. But I also have to say, Snowman, last week I embraced mutually assured destruction with if the Jets can't go to the playoffs, neither can the Patriots. Guess what's happening?
Thank you, Cincinnati Bengals.
Thank you, Cincinnati Bengals, and thanks for giving me a heart attack. Thanks for giving me a heart attack and almost blowing that game too.
Thank you, Ramondre Stevenson. Listen, it was 22-0.
It should have been. They should have won by a lot more.
It should have been 60-0.
Yep.
But then the Patriots pull off their BS, and Bill Belichick pulls off his BS, and next thing you know, it's a 4-point game. Iron Eagles having a heart attack in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife looks at the game and says, "I thought it was 22-0."
Yep.
And I looked down at my screen and I went, "The hell happened?" And she goes, "You're supposed to tell me that."
Yeah,
I can't.
The Bengals turned into a turnover bakery. They kept turning the ball over.
They were baking lots of turnovers.
Baking lots of turnovers to the Patriots because that's what the Patriots do. But their offense is so inept. They had to rely on a tip drill for that touchdown,
and
they had to get a pick six to get
pick six got him back in the game.
The pick six got him. That's what happened in the Raiders game last week too, or week before.
Pick six got him back in the game.
The pick sixes always get you back in the game in the NFL somehow.
And then this week, you don't just blame Jacoby Myers, you also blame Ramondre Stevenson for fumbling the football on the 4-yard line.
Oh, so I got a question for you. Should Mac Jones be suspended for that for getting in Eli Apple's way during that pick six, or that fumble turnover 6 that went over for a touchdown?
Your thoughts first.
Yeah, he went for his knees. It should be at least fine.
Should be the remainder of the season.
But it should be 1 game. If it gets suspended, it should be 1 game. But if it's at the minimum, he should be fined $50,000.
I mean, you're purposely trying to block low.
Yes,
purposely.
Yep.
That should be the remainder of the season. There's only 2 games left. Like, we're going to teach you a lesson. Get out. Get the hell out and stay out.
Nah, but it won't happen because
it's the Patriots. Because it's Bill Belichick.
Patriots. Exactly.
Because it's the Patriots. Because it's Bill Belichick. That's exactly why it won't happen.
No, that's why it won't happen.
Exactly why it won't happen. You know it. I know it.
Yep.
That's exactly why it will not happen. Damn Patriots. That's all I can say. Damn Patriots. I'm just glad Cincinnati held on to win. And if a certain Patriots fan shows his ass in the chat, I'm going to laugh at him. Because
Start the show over. I can hear it now. I can hear it. I can see it and hear it in my head.
You and me both. You and me both. I mean, I could be in the middle of my Rose Bowl preview, which I'll do next segment, and I can just see it popping up across the screen. Start the show. Start the cap. Start the show over. And that's when I'll boot his ass. And that's when I'll boot his ass. And speaking of Brady, I don't want to hear another blank thing about Brady being the. You can finish the sentence.
Nah, I won't.
Please don't.
We already know.
Please don't. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing it because it's not true. I'm sick of hearing it. And they're using every comeback that he.
Oh, the Lakers lost yesterday? Oh, good. Did they get curb stomped?
51 points by the Mavericks in the third quarter. Does that answer your question?
I may have to become a Maverick. I don't have. Can I just say I don't have an NBA team. I don't really follow the NBA as much anymore. I don't have a team. I need a team. I might jump on the Mavericks bandwagon.
You know why I was a Maverick fan yesterday?
Because they honored Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah. Not only that, they need to honor Mark Aguirre, but that's a rant for another time.
That's another day.
That's a rant for another time.
No, but I thought that's a great gesture by Mark Cuban in the Mavericks organization.
Me too.
Put up a statue. That's a great thing. I love Dirk. I loved his game. He's great. He's a great basketball player.
Dirk Nowitzki is the last great stretch four that we'll see. All right. He's the last great stretch forward that we'll see. And considering the fact that the Mavericks outscored the Lakers in the third quarter 51-21. 51 points in the third quarter. And the Lakers barely scored 54 points in the first half. They barely scored 54 points in the first half. And here are the Mavericks getting 51 in the third quarter.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the worldwide leaders scores page for the NBA. Has the final for the Mavericks, but you see, so LeBron makes a sweep move for a basket. It's like, stop. He lost. Show a highlight from the Mavericks, not the losing team.
You know they won't. They're all of LeBron's ass right now.
Because every clip that they highlight is from the winning team, except
that one.
It's like, come on, dude.
Except that one.
Move on. Honestly,
if you can piss off people by showing a Jordan Poole basket in which the Warriors obliterated the Memphis Grizzlies last night, all right, then why can't you show a highlight in which the Mavericks obliterated the Lakers? Why? Because they were up LeBron's ass.
Because it's the narrative. It's the narrative of LeBron's on the chase. LeBron's on the chase for the points. All-time leader in points.
Freaking
okay, great. But did they win? Did they win?
Did they win?
No.
Or did they surrender 51 points in the third quarter and lose? The latter.
Yeah. So I think I might jump on the Mavericks bandwagon. My co-host is a Mavericks fan. I can't. I can't root for the Knicks because they're owned by Jimmy Dolan because of what he did to the New York Jets way back in the day. Also, he owns the Rangers. I hate the Rangers.
Oh God!
I can't support the Brooklyn Nets because they stole them from New Jersey. Yeah, and
no wonder you're a Devils fan.
Well, I was born in New Jersey, so that's why I support them. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, I can't support them because they stole them from New Jersey. That was my team back in the day, the Bulls and the Nets, because I love Drazen Petrovic. He was so pure of a scorer.
You get no argument from me about Drazen Petrovic. And Drazen Petrovic was not afraid to take on Michael Jordan.
No, he wasn't. It was so tragic the way his life ended so prematurely.
I miss the Meadowlands Arena. I'm sorry. I'm going back in the day. I miss the Meadowlands Arena.
Yeah, and that beautiful that the Prudential Center, the Rock in Newark, is beautiful. I went there last year for a Devils game. It's a beautiful arena.
Why didn't the Nets take the deal to stay in New Jersey?
Because Jay-Z had pull, apparently.
The Brooklyn Mets need to pack up and go back to New Jersey right now.
Yep.
Because what have they done since they got to Brooklyn? I'll answer that in 4 words. Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. And they're expected to come out of the East this year? Bullshit. Not with what I saw from Boston yesterday.
Yep.
Not with what I saw from the Boston Celtics, and that's for you, Deets. The first team, when we did our NBA preview, and the question was posed to me, who do you see coming out of the East? First team I said was the Boston Celtics.
Even without their coach.
Even without Ime Udoka, they're playing the best ball right now.
Yep. It didn't matter who's coaching the team. That roster is talented.
That roster is sick. It's filthy. It's nasty. And it's worthy of coming out of the East. Period.
Yep.
It's worthy of coming out of the East. That's Ryan McCarthy. We have Coffee with McCarthy every single Monday when we talk a little bit of everything, including, can we send the Brooklyn Mets back to New Jersey? Please. Because that's where they belong. That's where they belong. Thanks a lot. I love you, brother. When do you have no credentials required?
We're actually going to host tonight. We're going to have tonight a special show tonight because we're having a special show at Belly Up Sports tomorrow. We've got a big super show for football. Got some big guests. We got Jake Crane from Crane and Company at 7, and we have former offensive lineman from the NFL. Let me just try to pull it up and see who we got. I can't remember his name for the life of me. All of a sudden, I should have this memorized.
You should, but
I should. But
the best. Look,
but Dustin and I will be in the second hour talking NFL. And first hour is college football. That's again, it's been on Tuesday at 7. First hour will be college football with Jake Crane. Second hour will be NFL, and I'll have that name in just a second. I'm sorry, Snowman.
You're fine. You're fine. If you were to see how cloudy
Marcus Ogden.
There we go.
Marcus Ogden.
I had him on my show too. Good fellow. Good fellow.
I'll tell him you said hi. But that'll be tomorrow at 7. That's why we're preempting our show for tonight at 7 on our YouTube channel. No credentials required. Tune in. We're going to talk some NFL and some other things too. So
I got to tune in just so I can brag about my team.
Go for it.
8 in a row.
We'll probably brag about them too.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right. Thanks, Snowman.
Hour 2 starts right now.
On your mark, get set. Let's go. Cause we take this job so serious.
All of it between 2 people and 4 nostrils. All of it was gone.
LeBron James is pure, unadulterated trash as a basketball player and has been for 20 years.
We don't want to see
that. Wait a minute. We don't want to see
bro. Number 420. YSL. Number 420.
I had to do it. Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
It's indeed Snowman in the Morning, to thereof. And thanks to everyone that has tuned us in. Bob Heidelberg in the house. Are there Grizzlies in the woods of Memphis? That I don't know. Haven't been to Memphis in a few years. And he says, go Celtics. Then, of course, there's this from Dietz. I thought that's all that matters, winning. You're right. You're right. It doesn't matter how he plays. When he wins, it's the other way around. I just don't like Brady. Period. I just don't like Tom Brady, period. All right, I made a promise, and here it is. It's the Rose Bowl on January 2nd. It's the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Utah Running Utes. Penn State wants to attack via the ground. Utah wants to attack via the air and Cam Rising. Well, what do I feel about this game? I want Utah to put up as many points as they did last year, even though they lost to Ohio State. Even though they did lose to Ohio State last year. And I got to correct something really quick. Cam Rising lost in the Rose Bowl to UCLA. He should be looking for he and the Utes should be looking for all types of revenge. And I mean all types of revenge. I want to see another offensive show this year in the Rose Bowl that we saw last year with Ohio State and Utah. And these two teams, holy cow, we just may get another 93-point performance. I think it was 93. We just may get another 93-point performance like we did last year. Because Penn State and Utah love putting up points. 35 for Penn State, 40 for Utah. 40 points a game. Both of these teams average well over 400 yards a game. 432.4 for Penn State, 472.7 for Utah. And when it comes to limiting opponent points per game, Penn State with the advantage, they allow only 18. Utah allows 20.4. It's a 5 p.m. kickoff in Pasadena on Monday, January 2nd. Penn State 10-2, Utah 10-3, and they're the Pac-12 champions. There is a combined total of 30 turnovers between the two teams, 16 for Utah, 14 for Penn State. But the problem, according to Dietz, they're facing the best secondary in college football. Joey Porter Jr. is a shutdown guy. He won't shut down Utah. I have the feeling Utah is going to put up. Both of these teams are going to put up points. Both of these teams are going to put up points. I don't know which way to lean in this game, but I want to see Penn State and Utah put up points and yards, and the team that has the ball last will win. I said it, and I meant it. I've seen Joey Porter Jr. play. He's good, and that's all I'll say. Shutdown corner, prove it in the Rose Bowl, even though he's proven it all season, that he has, and he's proven it all throughout his career. Yes, that he has. But prove it in the Rose Bowl, damn it. I think Utah will win this game, but it will be close. Utah will win this game, but it'll come down. You know, either team can win this game. Either team can win. Penn State and Utah both can win, but it'll come down to which team's strength, either Penn State on the ground or Utah in the air, will get the ball last. The con man is in the building, and he's going with Utah. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Are you picking Penn State or are you picking Utah? It's a 5 p.m. kickoff at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And I love what Deets just said. The other problem, one team has Sean Clifford, the other has Cam Rising. Advantage Utah. And that's why I trust Cam Rising. That's why I'm going with Utah. I am going with Utah. I already went through the numbers. I'll go through them again. 35.8 points per game for Penn State, 40 even for Utah. 430 point Penn State. 472. Good Lord. 472.7 for Utah. They average. Let's go down the tail of the tape, and I'll do it one side. I'll do it for Penn State first. Score 30. They average 35, give up 18. 432.4 yards per game, and they allow 317.8. They've only turned the ball over 14 times this year and only accrued 66 penalties. For Utah, they average 40, they give up 20. They're almost at 500 yards a game. This is crazy. 472.7 yards per game. They give up 325.3, which explains why UCLA was able to beat them. And that comeback win against USC in Salt Lake City. They only had 16 turnovers, only accrued 59 penalties throughout the year. But here is the difference for me. Here is the difference and the reason I think Utah will win this game. His name is Cameron Rising. 2,939 yards, 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He has a QBR of 83. I believe he will be the difference in this game. I believe Cam Rising will be the difference in this game and will be the reason Utah will pull it out. And boy, is it ever going to be close. I said it and I meant it. This is going to be a close game. Penn State loves, both these teams love to run the ball. 182.1 for Penn State, 220.2 for Utah. And Utah is favored by 2.5 in this game. I'm going with Utah. I'm going with the Utes, which basically means Penn State could shut everything down. I could wind up winning this thing, but I'm going with Utah. I will say Utah 48, Penn State 45. Crazy score, I know, but after what happened in the Rose Bowl last year, I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. So that's my prediction. 48-45 Utah. And that's my preview of the Rose Bowl. And thanks to the folks at The Inscriber Magazine for allowing me to do this. Pause for a break. And when we come back, I get to laugh at the Lakers. Next.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for Monday. Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Course, Steph Curry.
Tim Anderson. Jordan Alvarez. And it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense it.
The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Official SIT Morning is the ID that you need, and welcome to all in the chat, including the con man, Michael Concecio, my NBA insider. Chris Dietz has been with us for the entire ride, and con man says, I'm going to the witness protection program after the way the Celtics smashed the Bucks. I'm not surprised. I hate to say this, but I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all, because I knew the Celtics were the best team coming into the season. Now, though my Golden State Warriors are on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs go, thank God it's only December and not April, although the way they're inconsistently playing right now gets on my nerves. And I don't think the problem would be solved. I hope I'm wrong when I say that. I want to laugh at the Lakers, and I want to laugh at Rod West, because Rod said the Lakers will make the playoffs, period. No, you're not. When you lose to, God help me, I can't believe I'm going to say this. When you lose to the Charlotte Hornets, even with a 43-point fourth quarter, let me read this right. Even with a 43-point fourth quarter, be in the playoffs. You know who put this team together, and you know who is going to be the reason they are not in the postseason. And then there's Christmas Day. Let me say it again. And then there's Christmas Day. 124 for Dallas, 115 for the Fakers. Even though the Lakers put up 40 points in the fourth quarter. Let me say that again. The Lakers put up 40 points in the fourth quarter. They allowed the Mavericks to score, you ready for this? 51 points in the third quarter. I remember some time back that the ragtag Lakers scored 51 points on the Knicks in the third quarter and wound up winning that game. And playmaker, they should indeed get a flagrant foul for the way they are, for how atrocious they have been, period. And Victor Locke, the birthday boy, I didn't watch any sports on Christmas Day. And why not? but 51 points in the third quarter. 51. You saw that right. 51 points. You know the greatest thing about yesterday's Christmas Day NBA slate? No Brooklyn Mess. No Brooklyn Nets. Thank the Lord. I wouldn't have been able to stand it had they played. Now, y'all know what the narrative is. Oh my God, LeBron scored 38 points. Okay, Luka scored 32 in a better effort. LeBron actually hit all 12 of his free throws. Good morning, producer Clark, and happy Boxing Day to you up north in Saskatchewan. Lakers shot 48% from the field, 48.8. Mavericks 52.4. I just want to zoom in on that third period where the Mavericks hit 10 3-point field goals in the third quarter. 10 of them. 10 of them. And yet this is supposed to be the team that will outshine everyone in the West. Well, from the way I'm looking at it, y'all are 6 games under 500. 7 games under 500. I beg your pardon. The only team that's worse than the Lakers on the road is the Golden State Warriors. And I will say their maddeningly inconsistent play will keep the Warriors from defending their title. I said that aloud. I like being real with what I talk about. But if you're a Laker fan, how do you expect to make the playoffs with the way this team is performing right now? How? How do you expect to make the playoffs when you allow a team, and I go back to that third quarter, team to score 51 points on a day they honor Dirk Nowitzki with a statue? They need to honor Mark Aguirre with a statue, but that's a rant for another time. Tim Hardaway had 16 of his 26 points in that huge third quarter. Christian Wood added 30 and tied a career high with 7 assists. And they took their first lead during that 51-point third quarter. And shout to Dave Pash for calling that game yesterday. Hardaway said, quote, "I think we had to get the jitters out a little bit. Some guys' first time playing on Christmas, just being able to appreciate the opportunity," close quote. Lakers led by 12 early. They led by 12, and they scored 54 points in the first half. But to that third quarter, 51 in the third period. Christian Wood started it with a 3-point goal. Doncic thought about challenging James at the rim, but found a wide open Hardaway who drilled a 3. Mavericks scored 43 points in the first half and trailed by 11 in front of 19,200. Doncic had 6 of his 9 assists in that third quarter. And he hit free throws after a technical foul called against Russell Westbrook. Hardaway scored inside and out, and Wood converted a 3 to send them over the 50-point mark. Comment said, "I was in a great mood till you spoke about the Lakers." What? What? Let me say it honestly. They blow chunks. Period. You lead by 11 in the first half, and yet you allow 51 points in the third quarter? When you slow down this Mavericks team? Stop. Just, you know what? I hate to do this to a very dear friend of mine, but I'm going to do it anyway. Stop the cap, please. Just stop it. And to a certain person, he who shall not be named, they're not making the playoffs. End of story. Darvin Ham said, quote, "We talked about before the game just being ready to initiate, sustain, and finish with energy, effort, and competitiveness. We left it in the locker room at halftime. Yeah, ain't that the truth?" Close quote. Ain't that the truth? That ain't all you left in the locker room at halftime. You left your nerve. Finish with energy? My ass. Not after those 12 minutes where you allowed the Mavericks, I'll repeat it, to score 51 points and take your soul in the process. You let these Dallas Mavericks take your soul away. Okay? You allow these Mavericks in 12 minutes time to completely obliterate you, to completely take your soul and completely take whatever nerve you had left. End of story. Once that happened, the game was over. Once that happened, game, set, match. And you know why I love seeing things like this? Because it takes the narrative of who is supposedly the greatest of all time and shoves it right up their own asses. Because he's not. Talk about he who shall not be named. I love the fact that the Dallas Mavericks were outscored by 10 in the fourth quarter and won by 9. Because they outscored the Lakers by 30 in that third quarter. 30. 21 points by the Lakers in that third quarter. Only 21. And they expected to have a win on Christmas Day? Ha! Not in this world, they're not. I just want to know how this team lost to the Charlotte Hornets. They supposedly have the greatest player in the game. Shouldn't he have willed them to a win? No. He didn't. And I love that. I love that. And there's still 3/4 of a season left. So, Bishop Bullwinkle, are the Lakers making the playoffs?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
Period. Jay Spivey's next after the break.
Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson is brought to you by Penis Water for the ebbs and flows of life. Trust Penis 15 Water. So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
Those two are in honor of Chris Bass, who voiced the commercials and Cole Johnson put them together. Those are funny ads that we do. Now let's take a real commercial break. Back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Have you had a chance to visit the brand new Snowman in the Morning shop yet? You haven't? Then what are you waiting for? Go to our new web address, snowmaninthemorning.com/shop. That's snowmaninthemorning.com/shop, where you can shop for all kinds of items like a coffee mug, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a book bag, and everything else that you need to have the same outfits and the same gear that the crew has. And with each purchase, you will be helping the Snow Strong initiative. We got a lot to do in a short time to get there. Go to snowmaninthemorning.com/shop and get the same stuff that the crew has. And when you do that, tell them Snowman sent you. Thanks.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central.
Course, Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez,
And it's caught! Debo Samuel with the catch! Michael Jordan consents.
The throw just got the king!
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back as we come down the stretch. I got Jay Spivey coming on in a few seconds. What is you all's favorite holiday movie? I never did put out a question of the day. That's something I'm going to add to the attack here. You know, last week, he who shall not be named challenged the Playmaker to a debate, and I told Playmaker, take the day off. I got this. Hey, Gabe is with us. Good morning, Gabe. Welcome to the chat. He says Elf. You know what mine is? Die Hard. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. Well, yeah, there you go, Victor. The Home Alone series. The first one for me. The first one where the original traps happen. How many movies are in that series? Like 4 or 5? Big Dog says, "I will die on this hill." It's a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie. Ryan says Rocky 4 because it's not Christmas until Rocky knocks out Ivan Drago. Yeah. There was something else, Victor. I had to contend with very loving dogs and watching Jack Ryan last night. Well, I had to contend with loving dogs too. My in-laws' dog Buddy was in my lap for most of the afternoon. Had some good food, had some good times, and now, where are you? I'm trying to find an intro here because there's a friend that's waiting for me. Dag nabbit. This is what happens when I have to push all the buttons myself. And I know it's here. I know it's doggone it. See, this is when I gave the rest of my crew the week off. I'm taking the next 2 days off. Just so you guys know, because fighting a cold, it ain't fun. And I can't find the intro I'm looking for. Doggone it. And watch. I scrolled right past it. I know I scrolled right past it. Ah, the hell with it. Here's Jay Spivey, and he joins me right now. Good morning, Jay. How are you?
Good morning, Snowman. How are you?
I'm holding up, man. How was your Christmas?
Very nondescript. I did next to nothing but watch football and hung out with my dad in the rehab. He's as you know, he had a stroke, so he's in a rehab center right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I hung out with him for a couple hours last night and just kind of chilled after I got back.
Good.
How was yours?
Mine was good. Had a chance to see my son. Had a chance to see my other daughter. My nieces. Saw all of my nieces, and had some good food. I had a great time.
That's what it should be about.
Yes, it is. Speaking of Christmas, who the hell gave the Carolina Panthers a running game as a Christmas present?
Well, they've actually really since Steve Wilkes took over, they've had this running game, and it just shows to show you that Matt Rule really doesn't know what he was doing as an NFL coach.
Yes. Say that again, please.
I said this over and over and over before and after he got fired, and it just goes to show that it was at least somewhat true.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Steve Wilkes saw it as an assistant coach, and that's one of the first things he did as a head coach.
He installed the running game,
and that's without Christian McCaffrey.
That is without Christian McCaffrey. Absolutely right. So is it enough to keep Steve Wilkes around?
I doubt it. I can't see him being generally when you're named an interim coach, there's almost no chance you're going to be named the head coach.
Just ask Jeff.
That's
Saturday.
Almost always a good rule of thumb.
Yep. Just ask Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, he's getting ready to get his butt fired.
He's going to be put out of his misery tonight when the Chargers face off against the Indianapolis Colts. But I want to touch this. I touched it last segment. Tell me how the hell the Charlotte Hornets beat the Lakers Friday night. How did that happen?
Well, two bad teams for one.
Well, true.
Anthony Davis, as usual, is hurt again.
Yes.
But, I mean, that's just... How do you lose at home to the Hornets when you're the vaunted LA Lakers?
Yes.
It's just unbelievable.
You're supposedly one of the contenders in the Western Conference. And capitalized.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is.
But you are the Lakers.
Well, according to the rest of the media, which is not you or I or Cole or whomever, because we actually tell the truth, the Lakers are contenders in the West. I just want to know one thing: how?
They are not anywhere close to being contenders in the West. They got beat last night by the one-person Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, Luka Doncic.
And I'm going to say this one more time for the people who don't want to listen. You could seriously argue that the 3 best players in the NBA right now are all European.
Yep.
So what are we doing wrong in the United States right now in terms of developing basketball players?
No
And I'm
fundamentals.
not saying we're a bad basketball country, because we're clearly not.
Right.
But we got Jokic, Doncic, and Antetokounmpo, all of whom you could say are the best players in the NBA.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And you can even throw Embiid in, who's not American either.
Yep. I'll tell you exactly why. And it's something we harped about with the position of quarterback. There's no fundamentals being taught.
No, because it's all AAU. It's AAU. And they don't do that in Europe. They don't do that in South America.
They don't. They play team basketball in Europe.
Yes.
They play team basketball and they emphasize fundamentals. Let me say that again. Right. They emphasize fundamentals, which is why Jokic is the best big man in the game right now. Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo are two of the best. All right. Anthony Davis is Mr. Glass, and he's hurt again.
And when he comes back, and I'm not wishing him to be hurt. I don't want him to be hurt, but he'll be hurt again.
I don't want him to be hurt either, but let me go back to a point that I made about Anthony Davis since he's come into the league, and I will continue to make this point. He only played 1 year at Kentucky.
Yep.
Only one. And granted, it resulted in a national championship, but you would think, since you got one, that you would take it back to the days of Grant Hill and Larry Johnson and others, that you'd want to try to get more.
Well, like you said, he's made of glass.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. And most of these players can't play an 82-game season right now. Meanwhile, Mr. Rod West, Michael Jordan played an 82-game season when he was 40.
Well, that's an excellent point, because nobody plays 82 games or anywhere close to it now. It's always load management now.
Mm-hmm.
And how's that working out for all these guys?
It ain't working out at all. In fact, Ryan McCarthy has a great point. I can identify the problem. We're allowing college players who are not physically or mentally developed enough to handle the rigors of an 82-game season to join the league way too early.
Well, it's that, and it's also we are babying all these players, whether it be baseball players, whether it be basketball players, we're all babying these guys for no reason.
No,
back in the day, nobody ever really got hurt like this.
No.
And they all played 82 games.
I remember a sign over a locker room that says, "There's a game scheduled, need to play it, may as well win it." What happened to that attitude? What happened to that?
I heard, with 82 games, you almost I know they've limited it since Adam Silver took over as commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
But with 82 games, you have to play back-to-back quite a bit.
Yeah.
And none of these players are playing back-to-back. So there's already talk about getting rid of back-to-backs.
So what's the problem between when we were growing up watching the NBA and now, that the players had no problems playing 82 games?
And they weren't making anywhere near the money they're making now.
Nowhere near. And now they don't want to play 82 games. I will highlight a player. We talked about Anthony Davis. I'll highlight a player that typifies load management. His name, Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, God, all the time.
Kawhi Leonard.
How about Kyrie Irving?
How about LeBron James?
Yeah, he's doing that a lot more than he used to.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you that think LeBron James is the greatest in the NBA, let me highlight something for you. You know LeBron has only played one 82-game season in his 20 years? One.
How many did Michael play?
11.
So all these people, I am not knocking LeBron James at all. He is obviously a phenomenal player, one of the best players ever. But he's not. Look, he is not Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Nope.
Not anywhere close. I hear people all the time with this argument that he's better. There's no way.
Oh, you get that argument too, huh?
All the time.
Look, that was one of the first points you and I talked about when we started getting together on the air. Because I flat out asked you, how the hell can people see LeBron James as the greatest of all time when he hadn't played a full 82-game season?
I hear about it through my peers, my friends, people I see all over social media. People forget about what happened before they were born.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what happened before they were born. There is no question.
They don't study their history either.
You and I grew up in the Jordan era.
Yep.
It was just crazy. When he played, no matter whether they would have played, they would have played the Jazz on a Tuesday night in the middle of February. It would have been an event.
Yep. From the
that was back in the days when that was back in the days when all the Bulls games are on TV on WGN.
Yes.
So that made it even better.
Yes. If you couldn't get Sports Channel or a Jazz feed in your area, WGN carried it. And for a while, being in Chicago, WFLD carried the games. Like you said, it could be a Tuesday night, it could be a foot of snow on the ground, but if the Bulls are playing the Jazz, it's an event. Period.
Yep.
No matter if it was in Chicago Stadium, it's no matter if it was in Chicago Stadium or the Salt Palace. That'll take you back in the day. It doesn't matter if it was the Salt Palace or if it was Chicago Stadium. It's the Bulls and the Jazz. It's Michael Jordan and Karl Malone. Let's watch.
Yep.
Let's watch. Because I have a game in my files from '86, December of '86, where the Bulls played the Jazz. Jazz had a big lead. MJ and the Bulls came all the way back, took the lead. Jazz wound up winning by 4, 99-95. But you were glued to that game, man. You were glued to it.
And in the playoffs?
Oh, gosh.
Now you were totally glued to it.
Oh, gosh.
You never missed a Bulls playoff game.
Especially when they played the Detroit
Pistons. Yeah. Must see.
Especially when they played the Detroit Pistons.
And the hatred between Michael and Isaiah.
Yes, which still goes on to this day.
Can't stand each other.
Listen, Isaiah is just salty that Michael's better than him.
Well, he's upset that Michael, I don't care what Michael says. Michael had something to do with Isaiah not making the dream team.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just face it.
Yeah, well, everyone knows that. Everyone knew that when he didn't get selected. Ryan McCarthy with a great point. There are too many coddling these athletes' egos to make them seem better than they are. I can stop the sentence right there. I'll read it again. There are too much coddling of these athletes' egos to make them seem better than they are because they want to make a buck off of them.
Well, that's true.
Haven't we said that a few times?
It's everybody gets a trophy.
Yep. It's a participation trophy league. It's a participation trophy time, I should say. Players are making way too much to truly care. Ain't that the truth?
These guys are barely, some of them aren't even playing 60 games out of 82. And still making $40 million a year.
$40 million, and still getting their full salary. If you don't play a game that you're scheduled to play, dereliction of duty. Dock his ass. That's how I feel.
What does that tell you? What does that tell your fans when you're doing this quote unquote load management and you take off of the second of a back to back in a city that you only play once a year? If you're playing an East versus West game and you're an Eastern team and you go to Portland one night and you only see Durant once a year, what does that tell your fan base?
That you don't care.
You just don't.
Simply put, you just don't care.
And Adam Silver clearly capitulates to whatever the players want.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the players want, he does.
What's that saying? When the inmates run the asylum.
And then when we get to the All-Star break in February, this
God.
ridiculously long All-Star break that they have.
Man.
They have 8, 7, 8, 9 days off.
Listen, let's talk All-Star game, or lack thereof. Why isn't it East versus West?
That's what it should be.
Like it should be.
That's what it should be.
It should be East versus West. Now, I guess they got tired of the West. I guess the East players got tired of the West kicking their asses. Well, get some better players on the team, man.
So it should be. Shouldn't be a draft.
It should be East versus West. Best players in the East, best players in the West. We get together, we play a game. That's that. And a 9-day break.
It's ridiculous.
A 9-day break.
And yet they'll still take days off between February and April.
Yes, they will. More of them. More of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take more of them off between February and April. Because they want to protect their brand. What brand? You signed a contract to play in a league, to play in the best, supposedly, the best league in the world. Why aren't you playing?
And always hurt. Same thing with pitchers in baseball. With all this babying pitchers, how's that working out?
Gosh.
Always hurt. But yet they baby them all the time. You never saw Nolan Ryan get babied.
Roger Clemens and Nolan Ryan can have a 20 strikeout game and they're ready for their next start. They can throw 120 pitches in a 20 strikeout game, and yet they're ready to throw 120 more in their next start.
And they don't take a 6th day off.
No, they don't. Greg Maddux, who pitched for 20 years. He just knew, okay, I lost some steam off my fastball. Let me develop a couple of other pitches I can strike. The changeup.
You didn't hear him talk about velo and spin rate back then?
No. Can I get the ball over the plate? Can I strike the batter out? It's pretty simple. Pretty simple to me.
That's what it's all about. They don't care.
It's pretty simple to me. Exit velocity, spin rate. Who cares?
Analytics. We saw it all weekend in NFL. Constantly going for it on 4th and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And on their own side of the field, like on the 20 or 30 yard line.
On their own side of the field.
Going for it.
And now tonight you got an analytics coach.
Oh my word!
And Brendan Staley.
He is the picture of analytics.
And against interim coach Jeff Saturday. And I said this at the top of the program. Why is this a trap game for the San Diego Chargers?
Well,
why is this when you have everything in front of you? I said this during hour 1. You have everything in front of you. All you have to do is play 60 solid minutes of football, win the game, and that's that.
After what the NFL announced yesterday, it should tell you that it shouldn't be a trap game, because next week's Sunday night game was supposed to be the Chargers and Rams,
but
it got bumped because the Steelers and Ravens got flexed into it next week.
Yeah, they got flexed into Sunday
night.
That
should tell you all you need to know about what the NFL thinks. And I know it's because the Rams stink.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chargers should be ready to play tonight.
Yeah, they should be. Detroit 313, thanks for coming in. Big Dog Shane Link, thanks for coming in as well. I'll give you 2 pictures. We talked about pitchers earlier. Give you 2 pictures. Mention Nolan Ryan. Mention Roger Clemens. How about Kurt Schilling and Pedro Martinez?
Yeah, they never got load managed.
They never got load managed. When it was time for them to take the ball, unless they could physically not throw the ball, they took the ball. Randy Johnson, same thing. Steve Carlton, same thing.
How about this is not starting pitchers, this is relievers. How about a reliever not pitching 3 straight days? Yeah, when did you ever see that?
I don't see it. And since we're talking about relievers, in particular closers, I'll take this to closers. When it was time to close things out, all I need to hear is enter Sandman and Bob Shepard going, number 42, Mariano Rivera.
Number 42.
Number 42. It doesn't matter what day it is. If it's time to close out a game, put the ball in Mario's hands.
And that's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
You know, another matter of fact, let me throw this out there for all the baseball folks. And yeah, I'm not.
And look, we talk baseball on this show.
Thank you very much. You climbed right in my head, Jay, and I love you for that. I'm not supposed to talk baseball on this show, but I do it all the time anyway. I pose this as a day.
Hey, it's your show. You can do about whatever you want.
Yep. I pose this as a question of the day. Name a reliever you would not want to face. The first name, and I knew the first name should have been Mariano Rivera, but the first name that came out of my mouth was Dan Quisenberry.
Because of the way he threw the ball.
Yes. I hated Dan Quisenberry. I loved watching him. Don't get it twisted. Loved watching him, but hated when he came in the game because it was a shutdown. It was a shutdown.
And they were good back then. Now they stink.
No, they were phenomenal.
They were really good back then.
They were phenomenal. Dan Quisenberry, Mariano Rivera, Kent DeColvey. All right. Jeff Reardon. Dennis Eckersley. Here's a name for you. Jeff Reardon.
Oh, yes.
Jeff Reardon was great when he was in Montreal. He got better when he got to Minnesota.
Yep. Gene Garber.
Oh, my Lord. Gene Garber. The most twisted motion I ever saw, because you never know what angle the ball was coming from. And I loved watching Gene. I love watching Gene Garber because he had this wind up where he would wind up facing second base and then drop down sidearm and throw one right past you.
Yeah.
I love Gene Garber. I mean, submariners like that. I mentioned a couple of them. Dan Quisenberry, Kent DeColvey, Gene Garber. Love seeing that. Billy Wagner from the left-hand side.
Yes.
Billy Wagner was naturally a right-hander, but he broke his arm. And he threw with his left hand and threw 100 miles an hour.
Well, for those of us who can't do that.
Yes.
I'm so right-handed dominant, I can barely do anything left-handed.
Oh, here's a name for you. Rich Goose Gossage.
Oh, yes.
Who threw sidearm and fell off the mound, too. How about the Nasty Boys?
Oh,
Rob Dibble, Norm Charlton, Randy Myers. How about that? Con Man with a question. In the old days of the NBA, Lee Arthur Smith. There you go.
Lee Smith.
In the old days of the NBA, did players get hurt so much? No, because they actually took care of their bodies. They actually took care of their bodies.
Well, the other thing is they didn't play basketball 24/7, 365 either.
Exactly. They actually took time off when they were granted time off to rest.
You didn't play AAU every day of the year, nope. 45 games a day.
No, you didn't. That's why.
That's what's adding up. So it's not necessarily the games in the NBA. Mm-hmm. It's all the games you played since you were able to dribble a ball.
Yep, it's the extra games. It's all the pickup games where the injuries can happen.
4 or 5 years old and they were able to dribble a ball.
Let's get back to baseball. Bruce Sutter.
Yes.
Won a Cy Young as a reliever. I thought Dennis Eckersley did too.
I thought he did
Dennis
too.
Eckersley win a Cy Young as a reliever? Ryan McCarthy with that suggestion of Bruce Sutter, by the way. I saw Lee Smith get inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of two relievers that entered that day. Smith and the other one, Mariano Rivera.
Let's fight before the Cubs got lights at Wrigley. How nasty was Lee Smith coming in about before it got dark?
Oh my Lord. Before the sun went down, you don't want to see Lee Smith.
No.
You don't want to see Lee Smith before the sun went down. Because if the sun's going down and Lee Smith's in the game, you may as well put it in the book.
I mean, if it's just getting dark at Wrigley and he comes in the game, lights are out, literally and figuratively.
Forget it. You can forget it. Oh, here's a left-handed reliever, John Franco.
Yes.
John Franco, Tug McGraw, who saved the World Series in 1980. Wound up getting
You mean Tim's dad? That's what people think call him these days.
I know. I wouldn't want to see Bruce Sutter. I wouldn't want to see John Franco. I wouldn't want to see any of those guys.
Well, God forbid any of these guys pitch more than 20 pitches a game.
I wouldn't. Listen, one of my favorite pitchers did something no one else has done. 20-win season, 50 save season. You know who that player is? John Smoltz.
Well, you're not going to get an argument on that one. I love the guy.
Dennis Eckersley did win Cy Young, 92, Cy Young and MVP.
So I thought.
I thought he did. All right, we got to get out of here. Jay Spivey joining us as he does each and every Monday to talk sports with us. Jay, thank you very much, my friend. Really appreciate the time.
You're quite welcome. Thank you, too.
Jay Spivey joining us as he does each and every Monday here on the program. And yet I can't find the button that I need to close this out. Dang it. I found it. Here it is. I get so excited I look past the button I need to push. Let me get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me this morning. I will see y'all next time. Take care, and I'm out of here.
Thank you for tuning in to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, the hottest of hot takes and the coldest of cold, hard facts.
And by the way, Michael Jordan and Joe Montana, the greatest of all time. See you later.